Hello and welcome to Creative Sparkle. My name's Holly and today we're doing an art journal prompt list. So grab your art supplies and let's get crafting. Hi, thank you for joining me today. So for the first prompt we're going to be priming the page with white gesso. I'm working in a recycled book, so I'll probably put 2 layers of gesso on, and we're definitely going to need to prime the page today because of what we're working with afterwards. So once the page is dry, we'll move on to prompt number 2, which is to use marker pens or felt tips to cover your background. So I attempted to first of all try with these 3 pens, but unfortunately they've dried out. So I'm going to have to use some different felt tips, but whatever you have is absolutely fine. And I'm going to cover the background just with scribbles all over the background so that you can no longer see any of the white. If you wanted to use one colour or just a few colours, that's fine. You can use the same colours as I have, or you can use something different kind of pattern, whatever you wish. You can do stripes if you want to. You don't feel like you have to follow what it is that I'm doing, but the prompts are there for you to have some fun and not have to worry about thinking too much. So once I've finished filling in all the white gaps, we'll move on to prompt number 3, which is to drip alcohol over the page. So you can use hand sanitizer, nail polish remover, you can use rubbing alcohol if you have that, anything that you have that will do the same thing as what I'm doing here, absolutely fine. So I'm actually brushing it onto the individual pieces of colour and then washing my brush and coming back, and you can see that there are pieces of the gel hand sanitizer that is still on the page, and where it's moved on the page it's spread the colour. So if you didn't want to use a brush, you could actually just move your book and spread the hand sanitizer around. So that doesn't take long to dry because of the alcohol. So once that's dried, we'll move on to prompt number 4, which is to add something to your page that you would usually throw away. Now I'm sure if you're female or are close to females, you know what this is. I have some of these and I thought they had a beautiful pattern on, so I intended to save them and unwrapped them and have cleaned them, so don't worry about that. And I'm adding these to the page just in triangles, cutting them up, and I'm going to add them with some Mod Podge, and then we'll move on to the next prompt. As you can see here, I did decide to cover the whole background in the Mod Podge just to protect those colours that I've used in the background. So once that's dry, we'll move on to the next prompt, which is prompt number 5, and it is to jazz up your background with some sparkles. So I've chosen to use a stencil with some gel medium, and I'm going to put the gel medium through this cloud stencil that I've chosen, and then I will use some white glitter and put it over the top so that we have some glittery clouds. So now that the gel medium has dried, we'll move on to prompt number 6, which is to choose a cute or pretty image for your focal point. So I've chosen this little stamp set which has a gliding little girl on it, and I'm going to put it down on my stamping platform, and then I'm going to stamp with black archival ink. And what I'm going to do to colour the image is to use my watercolour paints. chosen to use traditional colours to colour my girl. She's going to have a pink scarf and a blue hat and green shorts, etc. So I just wanted to have a more colourful theme because of the background is so vibrant. I wanted her to pop out a bit more as well. So once she's all finished being painted, I'll get her cut out and I will put her onto the page. So for prompt number 7, we're going to be adding some ribbon or lace to the focal image. So I haven't stuck her down yet. I'm just going to add some ribbon where her scarf is, just so there's a bit of a 3D element there. So that's my addition of the ribbon. And so for the next prompt, which is prompt number 8, we're going to be drawing or stamping circles or stars. The stamp that I've chosen has some stars and some circles, and I'm just going to use a glue to dip in and a white embossing powder and stamp that over the background, and in addition pour the embossing powder over and heat set it at the end. Once I've got that all heat set, we'll move on to prompt number 9, which is to use a stencil or stamp to create a border. Now, sticking with the star theme from earlier, I'm going to use this stencil with some white acrylic paint, and I'm just going to sponge through the stencil in random places around to make a border, but I'm not going to fully commit to a full frame around the page. I just want to have some random pieces to give it a bit more of a cohesive feel. So once the border has been finished, we'll move on to prompt number 10, which is use more than one font to add a title. So I've chosen to go with 2 different fonts, and they're both sticker sets that I've got. So I'm going to be applying the word fly and the word hi, both in separate fonts, both in different styles of stickers. However, the fly that I'm putting down now doesn't seem to have much of a standout against that dark background, so I decide then to go around the fly with a white gel pen just to bring it out a bit more. So that was the final step in today's prompt list. So if you do want to try the prompt list, please do tag me on Instagram with the hashtag #sparkleprompts. The full prompt list is at the end of the video. If you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If there's any questions, put them in the comments down below and I'll get back to you. And I will see you next time, where we will turn your creative spark into creative sparkle. Bye!